Most Italian adventures begin right here, Rome. And for many travelers, that means stepping off an overnight flight, a little bleary-eyed, but buzzing with excitement, wondering how to make the most of day one. I'm Jennifer, the traveler and planner behind this journey. My husband, Nick, and I are gluten-free, and we spent 21 days exploring Italy with another couple, crafting every moment to match our pace, our priorities, and our food sensitivities. No big tour buses, no herding from city to city, just small group tours, boutique hotels, pre-booked everything, and plenty of space to breathe and explore. If you're in your 40s or 50s and dreaming of a slow, romantic Italian getaway, this series is for you. And today, I'll walk you through the perfect arrival day in Rome. You'll see iconic spots like the Pantheon and Piazza Navona, but at a pace that works when your body still thinks it's 2 a.m. Welcome to Rome. Let's begin. If you're planning your first ever trip to Italy and you're starting in Rome, this video is for you. We didn't use a travel agent. We didn't want group tours, buses, or generic hotel chains. We wanted a trip that felt like us. Curated, immersive, flexible, and of course gluten-free. But planning 21 days in Italy for two couples in their 40s and 50s when only one of us had ever been to Europe meant solving a big problem. How do you see the best of Rome without burning out on your first jet lag day? Therefore, we built day one as a soft landing. After an overnight flight and a private transfer into the city, we checked into our boutique hotel near the Pantheon. I've reviewed our exact hotel in detail on the blog, link below. Our first stop, the Pantheon, only a 3-minute walk away. It's ancient, massive, and still in use. You'll need a ticket to enter now, around €5 per person. We bought ours on site because it was quiet, but during peak season, I'd recommend booking online with a timed entry. There's a full guide to that in the blog post. At Piazza Navona, we stumbled into a vintage film set with antique Fiats, actors in 60s outfits, and a haunting cymbalum melody echoing off the cobblestones. Total travel magic. Lunch was just around the corner at Risotteria Melotti, an entirely gluten-free restaurant near Navona. We're both gluten-free, so you'll find all the spots we trusted in my gluten-free Rome guide linked in the description. After lunch, we napped. Not sightseeing, not pushing through, just slept. Because day one needs breathing room. Jet lag is real. Late afternoon, we headed out for La Passeggiata, Italy's beloved evening stroll. Via del Corso was glowing, the church is open, and roasted chestnuts were the perfect snack. We caught golden hour from the Victor Emmanuel II monument, an underrated view spot just minutes from our dinner reservation. Dinner was eventful. We waited 20 plus minutes between courses, tried to silently ask for the check like Americans do, and failed. The waiter kept smiling and walking by. Lesson learned. In Italy, you must ask for the bill politely and directly. On the walk back, Venki called to us, loud, buzzing, and full of late night energy. But between the pralines, the hazelnut gelato, and a literal chocolate fountain on the wall, how could we say no? If you're planning your first day in Rome and you want it slow, scenic, and soul-filling, this is your blueprint. Over 20,000 steps, but never rushed. All the details, the walking routes, restaurant links, timing tips, they're all in my blog post. Visit Rome in one day, the perfect first day itinerary for couples with jet lag. Link below. Our second morning in Rome began quietly. Cool air, soft light, and the kind of stillness that only happens just after sunrise. We walked along the Tiber toward Vatican City, unhurried, savoring the silence before the crowds arrived. Castel Sant'Angelo stood golden in the morning sun, a peaceful pause before the day unfolded. By 7:15 a.m., we had arrived in front of St. Peter's Basilica. Here's something most first-timers don't realize. You can't pre-book the dome climb. You show up early, go through security, and buy tickets at the base of the dome line. That's exactly what we did. No wait, no crowds, just a quiet shuffle toward the stairs. Pro tip, start with the dome. There's a direct entrance from the rooftop into the basilica, so you won't have to re-enter security later. Even early in the season, the basilica itself was busy, so climbing first gave us a more peaceful start. The first section is steady, manageable with breaks. And yes, pay for the elevator. It skips 231 steps and still leaves you plenty of stairs to conquer. But then comes the spiral, those curved, slanted corridors that twist along the inner dome. We climb sideways, laughing, out of breath, shoes squeaking against the stone. And then, sunlight. The rooftop balcony opened before us, and there was Rome. Terracotta rooftops, the Vatican gardens, and the dome of every church we hadn't yet seen. Jet lag forgotten. It was stunning. Before heading back down, we explored the Vatican's rooftop shop and cafe, while our friends, who are Catholic, picked out gifts and rosaries requested by loved ones. Nick and I soaked up the sunshine and views. Back down, we stepped inside St. Peter's Basilica, one of the largest churches in the world. We used the Rick Steves audio tour, which I highly recommend. It gave us just enough history to understand what we were looking at without overwhelming us. Whether you're spiritual or not, this space holds gravity. The architecture, the art, the light streaming through the nave. You don't need a tour guide to feel something here. By noon, we were ready for food and fresh air. We walked 10 minutes down Via della Conciliazione to Mama Eat Vaticano. If you're gluten-free, this is your spot near the Vatican. Certified kitchens, separate prep areas, and an entire menu of gluten-free pasta and pizza. After lunch, we returned to the Vatican for the one tour that required months of planning, the Scavi tour. This isn't something you can book on Get Your Guide or TripAdvisor. Access is extremely limited, only 250 people per day. I submitted our request nearly 9 months in advance. Names, birth dates, preferred dates, and times. And then, silence. Until 29 days before our trip when I got the surprise email. We were in. It cost €20 per person, payment due immediately. No photos allowed. But what we saw? Ancient Roman roads, family tombs, and at the center of it all, what many people believe is the original burial site of St. Peter. If this speaks to your travel heart, I've written a full how-to guide linked below. By afternoon, we made our way back toward the Pantheon. The light was golden again, hitting building facades like a warm exhale. We stopped for gelato because by now it was tradition, and then took a proper siesta. This pace, it's what made our 21-day trip sustainable. That evening, we ate just around the corner from our hotel, at Pasta in Corso. We were the only ones there at 6 p.m., and the waiter welcomed us like old friends. He poured one of us an overly generous glass of wine, and when the spaghetti arrived without red sauce and meatballs, we all laughed. We ended the day walking past the Pantheon, glowing in the evening light, still buzzing with families, tourists, and locals out for their nightly stroll. We walked 5 miles that day, not counting the dome climb, the basilica, or the underground tombs. It wasn't just about checking off Vatican boxes. It was about letting Rome surprise us through its layers, its beauty, and its momentum. We started our third morning in Rome with cappuccinos at Don Nino, right by the Trevi Fountain, which we passed on our walk toward the Colosseum. The city was already pulsing, locals on foot, scooters buzzing past, and the Trevi Fountain packed with early risers tossing coins. We booked a small group underground tour of the Colosseum, Roman Forum, and Palatine Hill. We booked this tour because we didn't just want to see the Colosseum, we wanted to feel it from the inside out. You might be wondering, is the underground tour worth the extra planning and cost? For us, absolutely. You'll stand where gladiators once stood, see the trapdoors and tunnels they used, and step into the arena floor like it's 80 AD. Our small group tour began in the Roman Forum. We stood where senators, merchants, and citizens once debated and worshipped, surrounded by layers of history. Then came the underground tunnels of the Colosseum, damp corridors where gladiators once waited, pacing in the shadows. But then, we climbed a short set of stairs and stepped into the light, onto the arena floor. That moment stopped us cold, literally gave me goosebumps. You're standing where the battles took place, where 50,000 Romans once watched, and for a second, everything feels real. From there, we climbed the upper levels of the Colosseum for sweeping views and a final look back over the arena. By midday, we were ready for a break. We walked to the Monti district. That's Rome's hipster chic neighborhood, full of boutiques and cafes. Lunch was at Zia Rosetta, a tiny sandwich shop so tucked away we nearly missed it. But one bite into the warm, crusty panini and every step getting there felt worth it. Afterward, we popped into a few local shops, picked up souvenirs, and grabbed gelato at Fata Morgana. One spoonful, and all 4 of us went silent. Next came the Capitoline Museums, Rome's oldest public museum and one of its most underrated. Think giant marble statues, Renaissance ceilings, and panoramic rooftop views over the Forum. We spent about 90 minutes wandering. It was quiet, cool, and absolutely stunning. A great mid-afternoon pause. That night, we headed to Campo di Fiori, which is a buzzy piazza that feels more local than touristy. Dinner was at Mercato Osteria, an AIC-accredited restaurant for gluten-free dining. We shared a burrata salad, a 4-cheese pizza, and people watched under the warm glow of string lights. But we weren't done yet. Instead of going straight back to our hotel, we followed Rick Steves' Night Walk, an audio guide through Rome's hidden corners and after-dark fountains. Piazza Farnese, the Pasquino statue, and Piazza Navona all looked different under the stars. Somehow, Rome felt even more alive at night. Not louder, just deeper. We walked over 25,000 steps that day, and yes, our feet were sore. But this was a Rome we had dreamed of. Layered, mythic, and alive at every turn. From gladiator tunnels to quiet piazzas, it was the perfect third day. If you only have one day to experience ancient Rome, this would be it. You'll find our exact itinerary, plus booking tips, gluten-free spots, and walking routes in the blog post linked below. It was our last full day in Rome, and we had high hopes. We woke early to see the Trevi Fountain at 7 a.m., hoping for that magical, empty moment all the guidebooks promise you. But then, we turned the corner, and it was already packed. Photo shoots, influencers, couples spinning for the perfect shot. And here's an important update if you're planning your own visit. As of February 2nd, access to the lower, close-up viewing area at the Trevi Fountain now requires a paid ticket to help manage overcrowding. You can still view the fountain for free from the upper plaza, but that iconic edge-of-the-water moment, that's now controlled entry. From there, we walked to the Spanish Steps, stopped at Cafe Academia to warm up with cappuccinos, €3 for 2 drinks. The real magic of Rome? That might be it. The steps were quiet, misty, and under construction, but still beautiful. Just don't sit down for your snack. Fines reach up to €400. From the top of the steps, take a 15-minute walk uphill to the Villa Borghese Gardens. Carabinieri on horseback passed us as we strolled through the fog, a surreal Roman sight. The park itself, a little tired in the rain, but peaceful. But then, we arrived at the Borghese Gallery, early, rain still falling, jackets zipped, grateful for the warmth of the little on-site cafe. Stepping inside felt like entering another world. Gone were the gray skies and slick streets, replaced by glowing marble floors, golden ceilings, and silence. The rain on the windows only made the sculptures shine brighter. It was intimate, regal, almost sacred. But then, we walked into the Apollo and Daphne room and just stopped. There she was, mid-sprint, hair turning to leaves, fingertips into bark. Bernini's Daphne frozen at the edge of flight. From every angle, the sculpture moved. We spent about 90 minutes inside, and if I had to pick just one museum in all of Italy, this would be it. By midday, we'd walked from the gardens back toward the Pantheon, our lunch spot, Pandali, a fully gluten-free bakery just steps away. I showed my celiac card and the owner smiled. Everything was safe. We ordered focaccia sandwiches, chickpea salad, and almond cakes. Simple, comforting, exactly what we needed after a soggy morning. After lunch, we ran through our departure checklist. ATM stop for cash, for drivers in Sorrento. Grocery snacks for tomorrow's train. Final walk along Via dei Condotti, window shopping only. And double-checking the private transfer back at the hotel. We returned to pasta in Corso because it was familiar, comforting. After a long, wet day and some back and forth with the hotel about our transfer, we just wanted something close, simple, and safe. We walked just under 5 miles that day. Less than usual, but it didn't feel like less. It felt like a quiet goodbye. If you're planning your final day in Rome, maybe let this be your permission slip. Museum, fountain, coffee, comfort. A little grace before what's next. You'll find the full day 4 itinerary, plus Borghese tips, gluten-free eats, and packing ideas on the blog. The next morning, we slipped out of the city just after sunrise. Suitcases in hand, cobblestones beneath our feet, and cappuccinos still on our minds. There was no grand goodbye, just a quiet ride to Roma Termini, and one last glance at the streets that had become familiar. We boarded the train to Naples. Rome faded behind us, but its story stayed. This wasn't the end, just the next page. Sorrento, Pompeii, the Amalfi Coast, they were all waiting. If you've loved exploring Rome with us, subscribe to follow the rest of our Italy journey, from seaside towns to mountain hikes, gluten-free eats, and everything in between. You'll find the full itinerary, packing lists, and travel tips on the blog. Links below.